It says waiting for you.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, it's waiting, and on Facebook, there's nothing.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay. I'm just trying to get the stream working on Facebook. For some reason, it's decided not to let me do that. But we are streaming on YouTube, and it's not giving me an option to stream on Facebook right now for some reason. So we will carry on regardless. This will be recorded, and so we can share the completed video on Facebook. It's a little disappointing, but we will do what we can to move on. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the TOROSIETE Museum of Contemporary Art. We are an online virtual museum, and we are open all the time and available 24/7.
We are hearing you twice.
You're hearing me twice. Do you still hear me twice?
Let me see something.
Are you watching it on YouTube at the same time?
Okay, it was me. I said like, what is happening? Yeah, it was me. My apologies. I thought it was
no
like
worries.
you had it. I thought you had it. And I said, hey. My apologies. You can continue.
No worries. No, this is, this is all new and we're figuring this out as we go along. So it's all good. So let me go back and just say again, we are an online fine art contemporary museum. We have over 70 exhibitions for people to see on our site, over 30 artists representing over 10 different countries. And you can access our museum by going to http://torosiete.museum. And we have many of the works in our exhibitions and related merchandise for sale in our museum gallery store. Today, we are having an opening reception and artist Q&A and I have with me here, Zuania Muñiz-Meléndez from Puerto Rico. And we're going to be talking about her exhibition, Vademécum, Flora, Vigorosa. Zuania is an award-winning fine art photographer and professional photographer. She has a bachelor's degree in fine arts and photography from the University of Puerto Rico in the Rio Piedras campus. She's splitting her time between Puerto Rico and Spain, where she's doing work and also continuing her studies in a program that she will talk about. To access the museum, again, for people that are not familiar with our museum, we can access our main page at torosiete.museum. Our museum gallery store is available at store.torosiete.museum. And once you're there, you can find all of our artists, all of our exhibitions. But if you want to get a direct link just to the exhibition for Zuania, you can go to her name, zuania.torosiete.museum. And you can go directly to her products that she has available. Her fine art prints are available in our gallery store directly at shopzuania.torosiete.museum. Once you go to her museum lobby or homepage, I like to call it, you'll see her multiple exhibitions. She has 2 exhibitions with us in the TOROSIETE Museum right now. Each of her exhibitions have 2 different versions of them. There are both a 3D virtual exhibition, which we'll talk about, and we have what we like to call our standard exhibition. Oops, jumped ahead a little bit there. Okay. Well, we're gonna have lots of challenges today. Yeah, I don't know why it's not putting it on the screen. Well, no worries. We don't have, let's try another slide, see if any of them will work. Well, apparently we like this slide. So we're gonna stick with this slide. There's 2 versions of each exhibition. There's the 3D virtual exhibition and the standard exhibition. And I am going to try to see if I can get back. Okay, it doesn't like those other slides. When we're in the 3D virtual you can navigate this by using the controls of your mouse, your keyboard. There's menu options on the top and the bottom that allow you to change different settings. If you're using a mobile device to connect to the 3D virtual exhibition, it may prompt you to download an app to access it from there. Once you're there, there's different links you can move around and navigate through the exhibition. And in addition to the 3D virtual exhibition, we also have an interactive exhibition, and this is more of a slideshow type presentation where you can scroll through in the exhibition. And when you click on one of the works, you can look at detailed views of the works. And see the works displayed in a room type environment. So, since my slides aren't behaving at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and use this time to introduce Zuania, who is live from San Juan, Puerto Rico. If you listen closely, you can hear the coquille, and we'll pass it to you real quick for now.
So welcome everyone. Thank you for your time and for sharing this opportunity with me and with TOROSIETE Museum. I will start to talk about the idea behind the project. I don't know if some of you had the opportunity to read a little bit about it and to see the photos. Hopefully Keith can just figure it out so you can see the slides. But I would like to very quickly, let me look for it, okay, right here. Read the statement so you have an idea. And hopefully if we can see the images, I would like you to see them carefully and then to share your thoughts with me. This is very beneficial because I want to know if what I wanted to portray as an idea visually, if I achieve it or not. Okay, so here it is. This is the statement. What I once was ceased to be. The abrupt changes I have experienced since the end of 2017 caused by Hurricane Maria and the recent pandemic have destroyed my stability, my way of doing things, and the way I relate to others. It is as if life has plowed my apologies. It is as if, my apologies again, let me put it a little bit bigger. I still have my eyeglasses, but okay. Let's begin. It is as if life has plowed my land and sowed salt in the furrows. But from that same salt that sterilized me, that destroyed me, is where a new me arises. One never seen before, imagined, dreamed. Only possible from the chaos and scarcity that drives me to innovate and grow. I am not the only one. I am accompanied by thousands of people who are reborn in a totally unexpected way. We are new flowers that emerge with more strength, ready to face the new challenges that lie ahead. Vademécum Flora Vigorosa is a brief guide that compilates 6 photographs of the new flora discovered in the new world after the pandemic. The creative technique to develop the concept was the addition, where different parts of multiple flowers are used to create a new flower. Regarding the names of the flowers, these were created with the same method used in the botanical nomenclature, with 2 or more words from Latin, written in italics with the first letter capitalized. For the first word, I use various synonyms for resurgence, and for the second, the region where the flower is found. An example is Reviveresco tropicae, which is a research in English, and resurgir in Spanish. Keith, do we have something available so they can see the artwork?
Yes, so
Okay.
I have now, these are just quickly, I'll just say what I was going to say before. When you're accessing the exhibition and the 3D version, after you scroll past the artist statement that Zuania just read, you will see the 3D exhibition will load, and you can click on the enter button, and you'll be able to access the exhibition with the navigation controls. You will see in the main screen, and you can make this full screen if you're on a desktop, which makes it much easier to navigate. You can click on individual artworks using this catalog display here, or you can hide that and just use the arrows of the keyboard. You can use the mouse, you can click on the works, you can turn yourself around and move through the exhibition, zooming in on the pieces that you want to see in detail. And then there's another menu when you get close to a piece up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen that lets you also get more information on the piece, go directly to the store if you want to see if there are prints available, and you can also share this screenshot that you have with people if you want to show something to them. This is just a shot of what would happen if you click on the link to see it in the store. And then this is the standard exhibition, which again, I went through quickly before there. So let me pull up one of the pieces, and then I'll follow along with you if you want to talk about a particular piece or talk about the background, how you made.
Yeah, we will discuss that later.
Okay.
But if you can show them all the artwork one by one so they can see it. And then I would like everyone who is right here, the participants, to collaborate and share their thoughts about the artwork per se.
Yeah, and so people watching on Zoom, definitely if you're willing, we would love to have you appear on screen. So if you can let us know in the chat that you want to ask a question, I will attempt to put you on screen for that. And if not, you can type in the chat window, and people that are watching on YouTube can type their questions into the comments, and we'll bring those out. So I'm going to cycle through these, but I'm going to make Zuania pronounce them.
Of course.
Okay. So I'll just tap through them kind of slowly here.
Okay, so this one is Cibus tropicae.
Okay.
Renovetur tropicae. Renovo tropicae. Reviveresco tropicae. Ut renati tropicae. Vivifica tropicae.
I think that's all of them.
Can we show them again?
Yes.
Can you write the Zoom ID and PE?
Someone's asking for that?
Yeah.
The Zoom ID, I will write it, I'll type it there for you. There's no pin. If people are on YouTube and they want to join us on Zoom, if you go to live.torosiete.museum, there should be a link to the Zoom meeting in that page if you scroll down to this event, and you should be able to see it there. It is a bunch of numbers. I can read it out to you. The meeting number is 99167597437. And I'll go ahead and put the pieces back on the screen, and we'll put that in the comments in YouTube.
So everyone, remember to take a look at the photos, and if you can please tell me what you felt and notice and your impressions. It will help me to start creating this dialogue with all of you, because I want you to really participate and spend some time together. I know you have many questions probably in terms of how did I develop all the flowers, and we will get to that eventually. But I want you to tell me your thoughts about it. So let's see them again. Any emotions, any ideas, any thoughts? What pops into your mind when you see these photos? Do you identify with them or not? Wow, thank you, Monica. Monica wrote, "Love the floating effect. Reminds me of words, life, hope, and stillness, waiting for what's to come." Beautiful. For me, Yarismal, this is Yarismal. For me, the Viveresco tropicae is intense, but soft at the same time. Wow, that's true. That's a strong image, and soft at the same time, as you mentioned.
Put that one back up there.
That's a beautiful.
Okay, Luis, I love the exhibition. When so much problems arise in the world, we turn to nature as it is an essence for inspiration. Thank you, Luis. That's true. I do that all the time. That's why usually all my artworks are with nature or flowers. Is there someone else that wants to share something? Don't be shy. We're family and friends.
Fernandez.
Oh, we have something from YouTube.
José Fernández says, cada flor tiene su personalidad propia.
Beautiful. Each
And,
flower has its own personality.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a part from Francesca Arroyo.
Mhm.
Hi, I felt the pieces of different flowers represent the various events that define us. The hard events, salts, and good events, the petals.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Francesca. Okay. Perfect. So then with all your feedback, it seems that I did a good job.
Yeah. One
As
of
an
the things that I would like, yeah, one of the things I want you to talk about is a little bit about, I mean, we can talk about later about the inspiration and what sort of more elaborate of what your artist statement was about how these events of the hurricane and the pandemic sort of made you want to create or inspire you to create these images. But I also want you to talk about how you actually created them, because I want people to really understand that these are actual sculptures that you made and then photographed them.
Yes, of course.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, so let me look for my notes right here, because there's a lot of things that I want to share with you and I don't want to miss anything.
Okay.
So in terms of creating the artwork per se, as you mentioned, there are sculptures. That's something that identifies my artwork. For me as an artist, I have several things that are part of my creations. I have first the concept development, which is something I did based on my experience after the Hurricane Maria and this pandemic, which is something that inspired me. And then I created and developed the concept. Also, there's art direction, which allows me to bring clarity and definition to the work. and also to convey a specific message. And that's why I wanted all of you to tell me your thoughts and to share with me. So I was able to see if I really share my ideas in the correct way for the spectator. And apparently I did it. Also, art direction combines art and design to evoke a cultural and emotional reaction. I also incorporate craft. That's how I create the flowers, the sculptures. Lighting is very important as well, and technique. Plus something that not a lot of artists are aware of, and in my opinion is really, really important, is a psychology of color. How colors allow people to feel certain type of emotions. Unifying all of that is how I develop the project per se. So in terms of the craft, the crafting in the artwork, these flowers were created by using different parts of different flowers, cutting them and selecting the parts that I wanted to use, and using hot glue to glue them together, wires and cords, so I can create then a new artwork. That's something called addition, is where you take different parts of one same thing and you add them all together and create a new one. If you think it is as in mathematics, it's, for example, 1 + 1 + 1 = 1, because it still is a flower created with different flowers. Also regarding the psychology of colors, Keith, were you able to show exactly right here? You can see that I have the wire right there. Is a very, let me see. Did you show the other ones? My apologies.
No, I can go back and forth.
Okay, yeah. You see the cords there, you see the wire, all of those were glued all together. And I was also thinking about composition and how to have a flower that still looks tropical with all the colors and combining them. So there you can see it as well. Very good. Okay. As I mentioned before, with psychology of color, I selected 3 colors as the background: blue, yellow, and green. The blue usually refers to stability, security, and trust. I wanted people to see the artwork and feel something positive, you know, to have that feeling when they see it, not to feel sad about the situation, because we already feel that. We already feel sad. You know, this is something difficult, but I wanted to be optimistic. That's why I selected yellow, because yellow is for optimism and positivism, and green, which is for hope. This is something that we all have in our minds, and sometimes we're not conscious about it, but designers, the professional designers all around the world are aware of this, and they use colors to share ideas and to provoke some feelings in the spectator. So that's why I selected these 3 colors in this artwork, again, because I wanted to give them a positive kind of vibe to it. So people can just identify in a good way, because we have a lot of bad news and a lot of bad things going on. So I did not want to add more to it. I wanted to share something different that brings people a little bit of hope. I want to ask a question regarding the background, which I already discussed, the colors I used. Do you have an idea why I use gradient on it, like from light yellow to a darkened yellow at the bottom? Can someone say something? If you have something in mind, there's no wrong answer. You can say whatever you want. You can even write dog or cat and it will be okay.
I have one comment.
We do have a
A comment from before.
Okay.
Madison Tanner. I love how some of the flowers seem to float and some appear to sing. Beautiful. That was from a comment from what you were talking about before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone said that. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Okay, good. Someone else that wants to share something about it in terms of why I have the backdrops on the top of it lighter and at the bottom, let's say something here. Perfect. Okay.
I think someone is answering, it shows more depth. Do you get more depth perception? Someone's saying it's more dynamic than static.
Beautiful.
Somebody said the beautifulness of our planet is expressed with colors.
Wow, it's so amazing. That one I love so much.
That's
Thank
from
you.
a gentleman named Luis Colon.
Luis Colon. Luis says, so much color in the flowers that make contrast with the background. I might guess the yellow may simulate sunrise or sunset. Nice.
Ah, sunrise or sunset.
Okay. Okay. Well, I loved all of your answers, and I never thought about it, which is amazing because still it goes all together in terms of what the project is. But I wanted to have the bottom a little bit darker because the salt is like the negative part of it, the part that we don't like. And usually it is the saddest part. Usually we associate black and dark colors with some things that are negative, things that we don't like, things that we hope that go away really fast and very quickly. So that's why at the bottom of it, I choose to select a darkened color and going up a lighter color, simulating, that from the dark, we will rise to the top, to things that are better, to grow, to be a new flower, as I mentioned before at the beginning of the meeting. So let me see something here, but all of the answers were amazing.
Yeah, and we have a few more. Someone mentioned
read it.
About the salt. Yes.
The what?
About the salt.
Okay.
In the bottom.
Can you read it?
Yes. It says, this is from Monica. Salt and darkness at the bottom, contrast of flower and light at the top.
Exactly. Okay.
We have one from Francesca. In my mind, it represents how sometimes you can go from bad to good and vice versa.
Of course, that's life. We go back and forth all the time since the beginning of the earth or the universe. In terms of the flowers I used, I tend to use flowers that I found all around my house and sometimes in my neighborhood, because with this lockdown, you don't have that many options. Also, I usually don't like to buy flowers for my projects since we are in the tropics and we have it available everywhere. So basically, some of the flowers that I used is from the Heliconia family, de las Helicornias, and some of them from Bougainvillea, que in Spanish is la Trinitaria. Those flowers are very good to work with them because they last a lot. They don't get damaged. They wither slowly. So they're very beneficial in terms of using them for crafting. I want to show you just a little bit what's behind behind me. So you can have a little bit of an idea of what my studio looked like. I have right here a big umbrella. This is a monolight with a light modifier, which is the umbrella. This allows me to diffuse the light and make it a little bit softer, okay? Usually I tend to have it on one side because it allows me to have more volume by having more contrast in lights and shadows. And behind me, if you can see, I have a lot of things like floating again. I need to have a lot of cords. Let me see if I can, just a moment. Okay, a lot of cords, and everything it's right there at the time of me taking the photo. For me, everything needs to be real, needs to be something that I create, and needs to come from the concept, the idea of what I want to share to the spectator. I don't know if someone has a specific question about my artwork, my process, what I use. I wanted also, before that, I wanted also to share the names of some of the photographers that inspire me. They are really great artists. Mainly all of them now are currently in Spain, and some of them in Canada, because I have found that the way they do art is kind of different. They pay a lot of attention in art direction and developing concepts, which is something that maybe in Puerto Rico we're not that used to. So allow me just a moment. One, in case you want to look for them online, you can do it through their Facebook, Instagram, or Behance account. It's the first one, it's blue and pink. The other one is Fragmento Universo, Paloma Rincón, Le Garçon, Kiwi Bravo, Inma Junta, and Studio Malls. So you can have a little bit of an idea and you can take a look at their work. I think someone wrote something here.
About salt.
Yeah, can you read it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, salt is a big part of your composition. This is from Louis. It takes a lot of space, just like the oceans on planet Earth.
And also it takes a lot of space in our lives. You know, salt, we can never get rid of it. That's part of it. I think that's one of the main ideas behind this project, is to think that at the end, if we're kind of positive, you know, and we recognize that to be destroyed, you know, to lose everything, it's part of life. We can grow again, you know, we can become a new flower. We can be stronger, we can be better. We can also help others, you know, to be reborn again, because it's a cycle. It goes again and again and again. So open for questions.
Anyone?
No, not coming up.
Here we go. What feeling can you say was the most intense during your development process?
Oh,
This is
Wow.
from Yaris Mar. I hope
Yeah.
I'm saying that correctly.
Wow, that's a very good question. Wow. The development process, when I was creating the concept, or when I was like creating the artwork, that is mine. Can you specify, please? Creating the artwork. Well, wait, okay. So when I was creating my artwork, I already processed everything that was going on in my life. I want to make a parenthesis and share with everyone. After the hurricane, I lost a stable job, which is very difficult for someone in the art industry. I was happy, you know, I had a great job. I was doing art, and then the hurricane came, so I lost it, and it was really, really, really difficult for me. I got depressed, as a lot of people did, but I managed to just move on, you know, and I decided to become again a freelancer and to buy new equipment, invest a lot of money on it, and start to look for clients starting from scratch. and I put all my effort on it, and I could do it. You know, I did it, and I feel proud of it. It was difficult, but I did it. So then after a few years after the hurricane, I decided to go to study abroad, and I went to Spain to pursue one of my dreams, which was to become a more professional photographer, to learn more skills that could help me portray an idea conceptually. And I waited for that for 11 years or maybe more. So when I could finally do it, I was so happy in Spain, and then came the pandemic. So I started feeling the same as I did after Hurricane Maria. Like, am I really struggling with the same thing again? That's what I thought. You know, do I need to start from scratch again? Did I, like, I'm losing everything again. I lost the opportunity to learn more in Spain and develop my career professionally. What I'm gonna do in Puerto Rico, it feels like a really small location with not that many opportunities. So I got really, really depressed. And I tell you all of this to let you know that after I meditated about all of this again, and I started creating the artwork, the feeling that I had when I was creating the flowers, I was really happy, because I really thought that I was one of the flowers. You know, I could resolve the issues on my mind. You know, I'm being depressed. Cheers, Keith. I'm being depressed, and for me, it was kind of a therapy, Jarismar. I felt happy creating the flowers because it was a way for me to canalize all those emotions, and to think positive again, and think that if I did it after the hurricane, well, I can do it again. You know, I have everything I need. I have the skills. I have better skills now, which I learned in Spain. So yeah, I was happy. I was really happy creating the flowers. Thank you for that question, Jarismar.
We have a few more questions. Are the flowers a combination of tropical and other types? Usually plants will flower to reproduce to survive. Do you feel this was part of your inspiration? This is from Louis.
Wow, Luis Pagan. Wow, that's amazing as well. Well, I don't know that much about flowers, sadly, because I use a lot of flowers in my artwork. But I think mainly they're all tropical, because I find them here in Puerto Rico, which is in the tropics. So I think that if not, they could not survive. Not sure. If someone has a little bit more of an idea about this, please help. But that's true, Luis. I've been discussing that with someone. I don't remember who. I think it was a collector that saw my artwork and was telling that, you know, the flowers, usually it's for that, you know, to reproduce and to survive, which is something that also adds to the concept and the idea of reborn and continuous society with new flowers, you know, and making a new society of new people, different ones, which hopefully are better than the ones previously, with new skills, new ideas, new ways of doing things. Yeah, do you feel this part of information? Yeah, I think so, because I know that, you know, flowers are for that purpose. Well, one of the flowers I used in Reviveresco Tropicae, can you go back to the flower, Keith, please? Yeah. Is the one with the blue backdrop and the big orange flowers. That's one of the superstars. A lot of people like that flower.
Yeah, this one is a very popular one.
Okay, so if all of you can see, there's like 3 flowers which are a green or yellow color. Those are really the seeds of the flower, because the petals already fell. So those are the seeds of it. So I am really aware of it, you know, that it's to reproduce and to survive. So it's part of it. It's part of it. Thank you, Liz, for bringing that information to all of us.
We have another question from YouTube. Where does the concept begin? An idea looking for a partner for the colors you choose, Or is it an improvised idea? That's from Luis Colon.
It's not an improvised idea. That's something that I wanted to change in terms of my methodology as an artist, because before I was more about intuition and just, what I felt, but I decided to do the opposite and to be more conscious about what I include or add or select in all of my photos. As I mentioned before, colors were selected carefully and precisely to match the feelings that I wanted the spectator to feel. I wanted to be something positive. So colors were mainly selected because of that. Regarding the colors of the flowers, I didn't pay that much attention in terms of the colors per se, because as I mentioned, I only use flowers that are available to me, and I cannot demand that much of nature during a lockdown. But the flowers, I have one main requirement, is that they're durable, that I can use them to craft the sculpture. Also, the salt was part of the concept, where to position the salt, how big I want the salt. If all of you notice, at the bottom, the salt is also not the main part. In terms of the lighting, the light mainly goes to the flowers, is the part of the flower that has more light. Also because when you recognize that human beings, when we see things or artwork or the world per se, we take into consideration some things and we reject some others. For example, if you see an image, we as humans will probably pay more attention to light than to darkness. If we have colors, we will select the ones that are brighter than the darker ones. If you see an image which has contrast, you will focus your vision to the part that has even more contrast than the other. So being aware of all those things in terms of directing the vision, like the spectator to see something in specific in your artwork, gives me a lot of tools to create the idea conceptually and then to portray it as an illustration in this way as in photography. So everything, it was created in my mind first with the concept. I developed a sketch, and then I look for the materials, and then I created all of it. But I create my own sketches so I can then continue with it as a final project.
We have another great question from Monica. Do you omit the roots on purpose?
Okay, well, yes, because I thought that it was maybe too much, because for me, for the concept, we don't needed the roots per se. Also because aesthetically, I think it's more when it's floating than with the roots. Is a lot of information, and people still get the idea behind the project. So it was on purpose. Also because to take out a flower with the roots, it's sometimes the roots is too big, and if it is bigger than the salt that I have and then the space that I have, it doesn't work out. Remember that, as I mentioned before, I first create the sketches and then I look for the materials. So I don't know, I don't have my sketch right here, but if I forgot to look for it, but the sketch is practically the same as the photos. I had like the orientation of it, which is vertical. I have like the backdrop all darkened like at the bottom, and the salt, and then the flower just floating. So yeah, it was on purpose. And then I see something here. What's your favorite piece?
Yeah,
that's so difficult, but I think it's Cebus. Can you look for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that one up.
That one is so beautiful. I love that one. I'm between Cebus and Reviveresco Tropicae. Those two for me are so beautiful. The colors, the composition. For me, it's just because it portrays a lot of life on it because of the colors again. Let's see if we can see that one. Yeah, Cibus tropicae. Yep, that's one of my favorites. And because I think it looks like me, skinny and tall.
This one also has a lot of a complexity. I mean, you have how many different flowers here?
There's one, two, three, 4 flowers.
Right.
Yep. I wanted, well, that's something that you mentioned. It remind me something. I tried to create different types of flowers, some more complex than others, because you can see that in nature. You know, there are ones that are not that complex as this one. Can you show one of them? This one a little bit less complex, but there's one that it's a little bit, let's see, that one. This is more simple. Yeah. Can you go back again?
Fast. Yeah.
The yellow one. That one. This is a simple one, but still you have that type of flowers in nature, you know. So I wanted to have different types of flowers so it could be more realistic in a way, but still having the same idea, the same concept, the same technique, and the same aesthetic in all of them.
Yeah, this one I know this is one of the more popular ones in the exhibition, but this one is just so complicated in terms of all of, I'm just imagining you gluing all these little teeny flowers on top of those other parts of the flower. It's just, and like you said, you have a limited time before this all shrivels up. How long do they last, or like did this one last?
Allow me just a second, just a second.
Ah, let me close the share.
So this is maybe 3 weeks.
Wow, so that's longer than I thought they would last.
Yeah, but this one, not all of them, because La Trinitaria is like that. And this one, as I mentioned, as I answer on Louis' question, these are the seeds of the flower. Since they're seeds, you know, they stay like that. It's not the flower per se, but that way you can have an idea of it.
Put this,
you know, and this is like 2 different things that I just put together.
Any other questions? I think we've run out of questions. Is there anything else you wanted to share about the exhibition?
Specifically about the exhibition per se, I think we cover everything, but I'm thankful for this opportunity and to see all these beautiful people right here sharing this time with us and with me as an artist and with the TOROSIETE Museum, which is a very nice initiative. I invite you to go and see their webpage and to enter their galleries. They have Puerto Rican artists as well as artists from Italia, United States, you name it. They keep growing. So make sure that you just go in and see because they have really good work available for free for all of us. And
I did want to point out again that we do have prints available for this exhibition, and they are in a variety of sizes. All of them are produced by Zuania in Puerto Rico, and they're printed on a very fine paper, cotton fiber paper with based inks. It's a very heavyweight paper. They're nice and shiny and glossy. They're absolutely beautiful on paper. And so there's a multiple sizes, which is great. And yeah, please check out her exhibitions, both this exhibition and the exhibition of Determinado is still in our museum where it will stay. And again, that's another exhibition that you created using flowers and the connection with nature and flowers and language. We want to make sure everyone knows how to find us. I apologize to people watching this later on that we couldn't get the streaming up on Facebook. Apparently, as I was trying to work this out, we can only stream to Facebook or YouTube at the same time, not both. So we'll have to figure out what the best way moving forward would be. Maybe we'll be better off streaming to Facebook. But you can follow the TOROSIETE Museum on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. We encourage everyone to join our mailing list. That's a link at the bottom of every page of our website. This way you can make sure you have the most up-to-date information on our new exhibitions, what our current artists are doing. If they have physical exhibitions, when they're able to do that, we share that with our followers. We also, this is the first of many events that we will be having in our museum live with our artists. We will have Zuania back as well when she does something new, and we can't wait to see what you're working on behind you when that's ready.
Yeah.
So that's all very exciting stuff. And we have an event page in our auditorium that lists our up and coming events. This month we have a couple of events every week where we're talking with different artists that have exhibitions in our museum. And again, links to everything again. Our main entrance to the museum is torosiete.museum. Links directly to our gallery store. Links directly to Zuania's exhibition. You can go straight there by using her first name, .torosiete.museum will take you to her exhibition homepage where you can look at both this exhibition and Determinado, and both the virtual 3D exhibitions of both of these works, collections of works are available, as well as the standard interactive exhibition where you can see zoomed in detailed portions of each of the works. So if there's nothing else, I wish everyone a wonderful evening and a safe rest of your week, as well as additional weeks. And thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with us with our first live video. There were a few glitches here and there, but that's how we learn how all this stuff works. And so thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Before we finalize this event, you can follow me on Instagram, where I will be posting my new work as well. It's at Zuania.mm, as in Mary. Zuania.mm, as in Mary, double M. I will be posting my artwork there, and you can just follow me to see what's going on.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.